it took years for me to understand that the more I used my feminine energy, my feminine strengths, the more successful I became. I started in the business a long time ago. I was a registered sales assistant for 10 years before they said, would you like to become a financial advisor? I said yes. And in those days, it was all about prospecting. When you hear the word prospecting, what do you feel? Yuck, right? I mean, that is a sophisticated answer. Yuck. Kind of feels like this, right? How many of you like to be prospected? Oh, so why are we doing it? When you think of being sold to or selling, what comes to mind? What is it? Car salesman. But what's the feelings? Sleazy, right? Kind of pushy. Kind of like, you know, it's all about the money. They really don't care about me. They just want the sale. And then closing kind of feels like this, right? This is the old paradigm. This is what we were taught to do. And there are still some great skill sets in this model that you can use. But the reality is, nobody wants to be on the receiving end of any of that anymore. And so, the Fevolution Revolution is creating a new paradigm. You are responsible for enforcing this, for implementing this, and this new model will work better for you than ever. So to incorporate this model into your practice, there are 3 key tools that you need to do so. First, your story. Your story is about why you care. And that is the way you build relationships. So let me give you an example. I used to do seminars twice a month, events every month. That was my way of building relationships. And I remember cold calling a Mr. Solomon. And he was a no-load king, Vanguard all the way. And he asked me a question. I said, well, let me tell you what I really focus on, Mr. Solomon. My passion is working with women in wealth in Newport Beach. And let me tell you why. And I said, when I was young, my father was a very smart investor. And he was really on top of it. And he always wanted my mother to become more engaged. But when she did become engaged, he made her feel stupid, simply because she couldn't understand yield and PE ratio. And you know what was the worst part? As a young girl, she believed him. And so she, from the rest of her life, she to this day believes that she is incapable of understanding investments and finance. And she was an accounting major. And so I realized that when I became a financial advisor, my focus and the passion of my business would be helping women become more comfortable with their money, create an environment where they were free to ask questions, and where I made managing their money fun. Do you know that he immediately referred me the partner that he lived with, a woman, $500,000. Then he referred me Barbara, who was a woman who went through a divorce. She had $1 million. Then another woman who was in their circle came to my event, said, Adri, I only have $10,000, but I said, okay, I'll manage it, but bring somebody with money to my next event. So she brought her fiance with 1.5. Okay? And do you know Mr. Solomon became my client? He became my client, all because of my story. So I created a process called the PurposeDriven Process. And it's based on meaningful and purposeful questions that you pose to your clients on a quarterly basis that drives fabulous conversation. And if there is a product or a service to be had, it will be uncovered. But what happens is you end up building greater trust, uncovering more assets, feeling better, because how many of you get a new prospect or client and you put them in your database and reoccurring call schedule? Anybody? Okay. So you come in on Monday and there's this list of 20 clients you're supposed to call. What the heck are you going to call them about? Now we got to recreate the wheel, not with a purpose-driven process. And not every client has to engage in it. But you do it, and they know you do it, and they know why you do it. But the reality is, if you truly recognize your strengths, and I know there are many of you out there that go, I know I could be more successful. I know it, I can feel it. And there are things that you've had to do in your business that you could just feel, but I'm going to do it because the penguins told me to do it. The minute you truly look at your strengths, and you know, if other advisors are looking at you funny, you know you're doing something right. Because we have to change the model. This is the model. You have not only the opportunity, but a responsibility. Because we, as women, can change this industry. And there are a lot of men out there that want to go down this path too. Thank you, ladies. It's been a pleasure and an honor.